Hello guys, welcome along, hope you're doing well. We are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator for another how-to guide in the PMDG 737-800. And today we're going to be discussing how we perform a go-around flying into LaGuardia Airport in New York. And once we've flown the go-around, we will enter a holding pattern and then vector ourselves out for a second approach and land the aircraft. So with that in mind, let's jump inside the flight deck and get things started. So the first thing to explain is there are two basic types of go-around. We have a soft go-around which uses reduced thrust, and we have a hard go-around which uses maximum thrust. And to perform the reduced thrust go-around, we hit the toga button once, and to perform the hard go-around, which is maximum thrust, we press the toga button twice. And we're going to be performing the reduced thrust go-around today. You really only need to use the hard go-around if you sort of have to climb away from the ground really fast, or you're getting some kind of terrain warning, something like that. So yeah, today we'll be doing the soft go-around. So before we discuss the procedure itself, try and think of a go-around as almost a mid-air takeoff, as a lot of things we're going to go through are pretty much the same as when we take off from the runway. And I know we've all been there, we've got a bit out of shape on approach, maybe we're a bit too high or we're carrying a bit too much speed, and we've tried to stick a landing that's just not on. So what I would say is it's important to remain calm and think as clearly and as methodically as we can, and that just gives us that time to go through the procedure and achieve the go-around safely. So let's talk a little bit about why we'd actually need to perform a go-around. Now, you're never going to be actually planning to do one, as it's usually something that happens when there's an issue or a problem. Either the aircraft's become unstable on final approach, or weather conditions have changed, there's an obstacle on the runway, or even ATC has just instructed you to do it. What I would say is everything will happen really quickly, so you have to try and keep the procedure in your mind, which we'll go through shortly. And as I said before, it's really important to just stay calm and keep a clear head, and that will give you the extra thinking time you need to execute the go-around effectively and safely. So to the procedure then, once we've made the decision to go around, we will hit the toga button once for our reduced thrust go around, and then we will go flaps 15, and once we get a positive rate of climb we'll go gear up, and then we'll select our rollout mode, which will be LNAV. It may be heading select depending on what kind of go around you're doing, and then it's just a case of tidying up the aircraft. So we'll retract our flaps to match the bug, runway turn off lights off, and engine starter mode switches off. Again, pretty much the same as we do after a regular takeoff anyway. And that is basically it. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Right, so let's just take a quick look at the charts for runway 13 at LaGuardia. As you can see, it's a fairly straightforward approach, and the go-around is indicated by the dotted line on the chart, and we'll be turning out left on a course of 043 degrees out to our hold at Greco. I've pre-tuned the LaGuardia VOR and also the ILS frequency into both nav radios, and if we come down to the bottom we can see our descent profile and also our minimum decision height of 212 feet, which will be the point at which I call the go-around. So let's brief the missed approach then. We're going to climb to 800 feet, turning left to 2000 feet outbound on LGA VOR 043 degrees to Greco, and hold, continuing to climb to 2000 feet. So all fairly straightforward. And once we've entered the hold, we'll just fly a single circuit, and it will just give us again a bit of a breather and some thinking time. Make sure that everything on the plane is configured correctly, and we can add our second approach into the FMC. And we're just making our final turn right now onto our short final, where we'll be about 10 miles from runway 13. And let's go gear down and flaps 15.
2500.
And flaps 25, and we'll dial our speed back to 153, which is our approach ref, and we'll do our final stage of flaps, flap 30. That's the aircraft fully configured and stable for our landing, I wanted to keep it as much like a normal ILS approach as we could, because as I said earlier, you don't plan to do a go around, so it's normally the procedure when something's gone wrong or there's an issue with the approach. So I can see the airfield in front of us now, so probably a good time to have one last recap of the procedure, so we've got it in our mind exactly what's going to occur. We're going to call go around flaps 15, go around thrust. When we get a positive rate of climb, we're going to go gear up, and then we're going to engage our rollout mode, which is going to be LNAV, and that's pretty much it. I hope we're all ready for this. Let's do it. Right, so we've just about got enough time for a little bit of sightseeing, so let's have a look at the New York City skyline through the mist. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, a bit of Central Park as well. Lovely. Okay, so we're just through 1200 feet. Bearing in mind we're going to call our go around at our minimum decision height of 212.
1000.
So a quick check of our engine displays, and we have the GA or go around annunciator, so that all looks right. So let's do it. And just approaching 500 feet.
Approaching.
Go around flaps 15, go around thrust.
15 miles.
Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Too low. Gear.
Auto brake off. Runway turn off lights off. Engine starter modes off. And LNAV on. And we'll go flaps 5. And flaps 1. And flaps up. And that is pretty much it, guys. I said it would happen quite quickly. That is how we fly a go around. So what we'll do now is make our way out to the hold, and then just start planning for our second go at our landing. So there's the hold there in front of us. We'll fly sort of half a circuit and then exit on the sort of teardrop shape there. And if we just pull up the chart, we can cross-reference with what we're looking at on our nav display. Everything looks all good for our hold at Greco. Okay, so we've flown our go around and we've now entered our hold at Greco. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to fly half of the circuit. So if we come down to the FMC, I'll show you how we exit our hold. You basically hit the hold button, followed by exit hold, and then execute, and that brings up the exit arm message, so that's all good. And if we take a quick look at the nav display, we'll just be flying this right hand turn and then exiting the hold on the teardrop, and then we can basically vector ourselves out for our second approach. So with that all taken care of, all we need to do now is add our data for our second approach. So hit the arrivals button, and then ILS 13 is our approach, and then execute that, and that should just drop in the waypoints we need. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so we can now vector ourselves back out to pay me for our second approach. and the aircraft just starting to turn in now, so we can exit our hold as we discussed. I've got to say as well, the lighting in this simulator always really impresses me. The way sort of the sun sort of reflects off the sea and fills the cockpit with light. It's it's really clever stuff. What I'm going to do is bring the heading bug round to match the course of our hold exit, and then we'll be sort of pointing in the right direction. I can hit heading select mode as soon as we've exited the hold, and we can vector ourselves out to our pay me waypoint. Right, so at this point I think I'm going to speed the time up a little bit just so we don't have to watch the entire approach again, and then we'll catch up again when we're on our short final coming into land. Okay, so that concludes today's tutorial for flying a go-around in the PMDG 737-800. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. And a very Merry Christmas to everyone. Cheers, bye-bye.